What feels like an oncoming wave of data center development washed over the Ashland area this week. Maryland-based company TerraWolf announced plans for a new artificial intelligence site about 12 miles from Ashland in the East Park Industrial Complex. The company says the new data center will need up to a gigawatt of power by 2030. For context, that's the average electricity use for 800,000 homes. But the company says it will pay for all of its own power. In a social media post, Boyd County Judge Executive Eric Cheney wrote, "I know data centers often get a bad rap and face skepticism. We have put together the best deal for not only the taxpayers, but the utility ratepayers of our community." All right, let's jump right on into it. We have talked about data centers, both of us, at various times, and you both filed bills last session to address this growing need. We'll start with you, Representative Bray. Talk to me a little about the bill that you filed, and it did move, didn't quite get across that line, but tell us what that bill would have done.
Sure. So last session I filed House Bill 593, which I like to call the Ratepayer Protection Act. It does exactly that. It makes sure that, one, we're only putting data centers in communities that want them. There was an accountability piece to where the local executive, judge executive, or mayor had to sign off that all local requirements had been met. But more importantly, it focused on energy policy to make sure that ratepayers weren't taking on risk and weren't subsidizing data centers. Effectively, it did three things. It was neither positive nor negative towards data centers, but it said if you're coming to Kentucky, you need to either bring your own electricity. The electricity needs to be bought and paid for on the open market through like PJM or MISO, or you have to prepay for all of the expenses associated with the transmission and generation of the electricity. That way, ratepayers aren't having to pay for new generation to be built just to feed a data center. And so, I think we all agree, like, we want the United States to win the race for artificial intelligence. We want the United States controlling artificial intelligence destiny, not China. So data centers are absolutely necessary, but we want to make sure that if they're coming to Kentucky that we've got the appropriate protections in place and that they're going to communities that want them.
Certainly. There was an article in the Lantern, I think, recently, maybe even last week, about up to 30 data centers in active consideration. It's definitely, it's coming, so we're going to have to regulate it. And I wanted to talk to you, Representative Moore, about your bill. Slightly different, but it was bipartisan. You had a Republican co-sponsor with that. Tell us a little bit about what that bill would have done.
Right, and it does a lot of the same things that Representative Bray's bill would have done. The biggest thing was making sure that if a data center is going to come into Kentucky, it's going to come into a community, that it does it the right way. Again, that it's either bringing its own power, it's paying for its own power, but also the new generation that would have to be built, or the new transmission that would have to be built, updates to the grid, updates to the system that maybe they're sharing with residential customers, that they're paying for the updates that they require. Now, I'm really glad that Rep. Bray's bill made it through the House. I wish we could have gotten it into law. It's one of my big disappointments of the year that we did not get it into law, because you said it yourself, Abby, like, these things are coming. It's so imperative that they do so the right way, that we're protecting not just the pocketbooks of our constituents, but the land that's around them too. When we're thinking about prime farmland, when we're talking about our waterways, because we're on that karst terrain with our cave systems and the limestone, people are really concerned about that. And so if they are going to come to Kentucky, go into communities where they're wanted, and they're doing so without harm being done to us, while billionaire corporations reap all the profits from it.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up an interesting dynamic here, which is how do we balance the environmental concerns with the real need for these data centers, especially in an era of growing AI. Representative Roy, what do you think that balance looks like, and how do we juxtapose that between local control and state control?
I tell you what I'm really worried about as far as balance is economic, as it relates to economic development. So Kentucky has a finite amount of electric resource. We only have so many electrons that we can send all throughout the grid. And these data centers use massive amounts of electricity. The one in Ashland is, they're talking about a gigawatt facility, which is more than what Kentucky Power currently has inside the state of Kentucky already. So as we bring on these data centers, we need to make sure that we're not forgoing 1,000 jobs from some advanced manufacturing facility located somewhere that's going to generate a whole lot more tax revenue, that's going to give more jobs, more investment, that would really kind of lift Kentucky's economy up. That's my primary concern with them, because we're essentially fighting over a scarce resource. How do we make sure that that allocation is done to the benefit of the Commonwealth?
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
On the community level, one thing the legislature has put in place is what we call nuclear-ready communities. As we're looking towards small modular reactors and nuclear power, we want communities to say, hey, you know, we're raising our hand, we would like those here. And what that includes is public education, open meetings, public hearings, because we want it to be transparent, that process. I think we can model a behavior like that for those who want to host data centers, and that way you don't feel like it's predatory, that they're coming into somewhere because we want to make a buck off you. It's a community that decides, actually this would be good for us, it wouldn't be harmful for us. Maybe we could get a data center ready community program that shows that local buy-in is there and that meets certain requirements that the locals feel comfortable with if it's going to be in their backyard.
Great. Well, certainly more discussion to be had on that in the months to come. And speaking of the months to come, it is the time of year when the defining issues of the next General Assembly session are formed.